All right, welcome back, chemistry teachers. Last video, I walked through using the scope and sequence for chemistry, and now we're going to open up one of our curriculum maps, and we're just going to focus on what I call the curriculum landing page, which is this first page in the curriculum map. And then in the next video, we'll jump down into the actual pacing guide, but I want to make sure that you understand how to utilize this first page for kind of planning out your whole unit. Because what we don't want is our units to feel like a bunch of unrelated little topics. We want it all to be merged together into a story that students can kind of build and put together. So the way I'll go through this is we'll start up in the top left, kind of work ourselves down and around, and then hopefully by the end of this video you'll understand how this first page should be used for your planning and be ready to use it in the future. So to start off, these links right here actually don't take you anywhere else. It's just a quick way if you wanted to jump down to Module 5. This will jump you straight down there. So I'm on the same document. I've just scrolled down. I just didn't have to spend time scrolling on my actual page. So those are just helpful navigation links. Your teacher background knowledge. This is useful because not everybody has a chemistry background who comes in to teach chemistry. So this one's going to highlight some of the key ideas over each of the different modules in our progression. And then what I think is really helpful is the common student misconceptions. So this would be areas where you can go, okay, this is what students come in misunderstanding, and then how do I teach them so that they don't fall into that trap and they actually learn how things work. And then a few teaching strategies. This was actually just generated using an AI tool to help me put this together real quick for you guys. So let me know what your thoughts are on that, but hopefully those are useful, especially for those new to the subject matter. As I mentioned in the last video, some of the resources on the scope and sequence will be found here as well. So here are your proficiency scales. I talked about those in the previous video. And here are those assessments that I talked about, the district assessment and the testlet. If you want more information, you didn't watch that last video, just go check that out, and I'd go in more in depth about those. Coming down, these are our different district resources, and these are all actual links. So if you want to get to our chemistry resource at McGraw-Hill, this will get you there. If you want to get to Gizmos or PhET, these links will get you to all of our resources, Nearpod, and all of that. I'd suggest, just like you can see on my screen, you start bookmarking a lot of the places that you go to. You can even edit out the text if it's a logo you can recognize and you can fit more in. So that's a helpful tip for navigating to all your resources. If you want to see, there's the district website that has our curriculum. I also have a separate district page that has curriculum and other stuff on there. If you want to go check that out, that's always linked right here. So there's some resources for you right there. Coming up over here, each of our units in all of our sciences start off with some sort of phenomena and has some sort of unit project tied to it. In chemistry, they don't really have what they call phenomena for the unit, but what they have is a science probe. And what this is it's actually really great. These are a question that, very simple, these are one page. The idea is that you give this to your students at the beginning of the unit. You see how they do. Because students are going to come in with misconceptions, most of them are going to answer the question wrong. And then as you go throughout your teaching, they're going to understand how the world really works. And then if you give this at the end, they'll be able to better explain their reasoning for what the correct answer is. So I'd suggest trying this. And most of them are super relatable, so students will get it. They have good graphics. But that's a good way to kick off your unit, and then you can actually come back to it at the end, compare your data for how well students did, and you can show growth, which I think is super useful. The other thing that it has is a project. These are typically longer, a bit more of a research thing, so whether you do these or not is up to you. It would change kind of the structure and purpose of your lab, of your classroom. But maybe once in a while you try out one of these projects. This one's kind of a material science about, okay, how do you protect against certain natural disasters? I think tornadoes is one, but it also talks about flooding and fires. And they're learning about different molecular compounds which make up different materials. And so the question can be asked, how could you make a building that could withstand, say, a tornado? And the students, after learning about materials, could say, well, I'll just build it out of titanium or steel. But then they have to balance that with, well, what's the cost of that compared to building it out of wood? And so now you've got this balance of cost versus protection against the elements. that students can have a whole research, debate, and all that. So a good idea for capturing all the students thinking at the end of a unit. As we come down, I currently don't have example lesson plans with our new curriculum just yet, but hopefully this will have some example lesson plans for you to see how you can take all of the things that you'll be learning about and merge them together for an engaging lesson. The Ready for Rigor framework, there's a video linked in this document, but essentially I kind of outline where the 4 components of the Ready for Rigor framework could be played out within our resources. And then finally you have let me back up. Based off of all of this stuff up here, I've created unit posters to kind of highlight what students are learning about, especially if you do the project at the end. You want to introduce it at the start. Hey, keep this idea in mind as we go and learn, because at the end we're going to tackle this problem based off what you guys learned. So then this unit poster, if you have it up by your front door, students can remember, oh yeah, we're learning about these different modules so that we can better answer this question. And it's got your focus questions listed out here. So this is a great poster that you can have up in your room. Looks kind of cool. Will remind students about what they're learning about for that unit. All right, jumping back. And then the unit storyline, this kind of helps tie in. Like I said, we don't want this to feel like here's topic A, here's topic B, here's topic C. Those were unrelated, moving on. We want it all to kind of coalesce and go together. And so that's what the storyline does, is it helps you kind of see how each part helps support one another, builds this bigger story. And that's also what these are entailed to do, is to make sure that these aren't all separate. We're building up to build this knowledge that's all related to answer bigger questions. And so that's what that's useful for. I've also created an outline map. This is more for a teacher that just kind of, it doesn't believe that I'm me. You can check that out. It just kind of outlines for a teacher how to start off the unit, the different things that you include, and how you can wrap things up. That's just for you as the teacher, but hopefully that's a useful document for you. It's starting to kick me out and it wants me to sign into Google, so that's as good a time as any for me to stop. And then in the next video, we are going to jump into the actual pacing guide, and that's where the meat and potatoes is. So I will see you guys in that next video. Bye.